my name is Rick, and welcome to episode 3 of my Sunless Zubmariner Let's Plays. It's my goal to make this video be like an audiobook. When we last left off, my captain had purchased some questionable street food from a vendor in an annoying city. Since this is Sunless Sea, a little food poisoning seems like the least of his worries. I'd like to think some of what happens next is somehow related. Jellyfish, the food of queens. Traces of its venom still remain, just enough to make your tongue tingle and alter your consciousness a touch. Your pulse accelerates and odd thoughts sparkle in the forefront of your mind. You succeeded in the Hearts Challenge. You gained 10 fragments, you've lost 5 hunger. Fantastic. Gather intelligence. Are you asking for any particular reason? At what time of day? Is that your hat? Might it be 6? It could be 6. Eventually you cobble together enough implication and supposition to compose a report. This wasn't really part of the plan, but since we've already blown through half our fuel, and these guys sell and buy and sell in weird Z stories, which we don't have, can't really do anything here, we're going back to London immediately. Just because I can't count on being able to buy fuel anywhere else between here and there, since I don't know where it is. Okay, here we go off to London. Since I really kind of messed around on the way here, I don't think we'll have too much trouble getting back with the amount of fuel and supplies we have. Unless... no. I'm not going to mess around. Wow. Oh, really? Everything wants a piece of me. Could I just buy fuel in Vendor Bite if I needed to, in which I do? Yes. You know, when a ship is new, the first time they sail it out, they don't even trust that it's going to work properly. It's always a kind of a test voyage. And that's what this was, because that's just perfect. What we learned from this is we need to keep much more of an eye on our fuel supply, and regular supplies won't be as much of a problem because of the super fast engine. I'm just going to buy some more fuel here and extend the duration of our voyage by a little bit. Now we have as much as when we started. Let's see, where do we need to go? Stupid bats, just, you're not worth messing with. Go away. Oh, give me a break. More bats. Ooh, what's this? Better not be bats. The world is webbed with invisible lines. You've crossed one. Tighten them, and it would split like a fruit. Nice. Enjoying the new guns, liking that. Scoop it up. Perhaps you can eat it. Or yet, perhaps your sailors can. Let it disperse. Watch its oil rainbow colors fade. I'm going to do that. A face? From above, the Gillifleur's cap does look a little like a woman's face. She dissolves like smeared paint. You now have one Z story. Well, good. We need those. Here's a light ship. You know, this is really further from home than I intended to sail. It's just this engine is so speedy. What's this? This could be something. Oh, look, there's got to be something around here. You can only go so far without running into something. Oh, there comes some more bats. Great. I'm sure glad to see them. Totally not sick of those guys yet. Oh, leave me alone. The lights help them target me, and turning them off helps them lose me. Down to 4 fuel. We'll just see what this is over here, and then we'll go to London. This is Geidersmore, and there's a Gillifleur. I'm actually slowing down to stop for combat, just because these engines are so nuts. Oh, what happens if we try to eat it? You've gained a supply. Fantastic. Here's... According to the cheerful music that's playing, we found Geidersmore. No, I'm wrong. Oh well, Shepherd Isles. That's good too. Ooh, Pirate Steam Pinnace. Hey, don't blame me. I didn't name these things. Loot and scuttle her. She's a vile old vessel, and these Z's aren't safe. Take what you can and move on. Please be fuel. Please be fuel. There's something in the back of the hold. You have finished opening a cache of curiosities. Some sort of barrel. Tap the bung carefully. Please be fuel. Please be fuel. It's a cask of wine. Great. It's a cask of mushroom wine. Field Haven. Shepherd Isles. Of course, the bearded watchman tells you, there are no actual shepherds on the Shepherd Isles. Well, of course not. Greybirds sitting in the village square nod solemnly. No sheep, one says, but plenty of tails. Ask us anything. Could do a picnic at the Standing Stones. Not sure I want to. Compile a port report. Oh, yes, 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 my yes. There's been goings on. In the bleak light, oh, the false stars. Surface roiling like a porridge pot. Up with the roar of steam and flash of fire. 3 widows swimming. Tentacles! And then we saw His Highness. There is rather a lot of this material. Engage an officer. The sigil-ridden navigator. Let me guide your ship. I know all the Z, how it was, how it will be. Please. The headaches only stop when I'm working. For $50? Sure, welcome aboard. Thank you. The nonsense here was a distraction for a while, but only the Z can help me now. Ah, my God, the air, it's clearer already. Let me chart a course for you. Ah, my head, my head. Appoint your new officer by dragging him from the officers tab. Do this in port, not at sea, or you may unsettle your crew. Okay. Now we get a cook. And we got a first officer. Mirrors +6, veils +3. Wow, you're already replaced, buddy. I don't want to do a picnic at the Standing Stones just right now, but I will do the Tales of the Standing Stones. The bearded villagers are happy to talk about the local sights. Well, sight. True as I stand here. They were sisters from the sisterhood over on Abbey Rock. Came here hunting a renegade who served the god called Stone. Ran to ground here, and she called on the god, and the god struck 'em all to pillars of rock. Stand close and quiet, and you'll hear 'em weepin'. You now have one tale of terror, and you have gained a terror. Oh, now I can't do anything more here. Well, they do have a shop. I'm going to buy an emergency 1 fuel, just in case we don't have enough to go back to London, and then we'll go back to London. Discovered Wolf's Rift. Fragments gained. Discovered Westigrin's Fire. Fragments gained. Wow. Look at the rate at which we're going through fuel. I turned the lights off to save on fuel, because who cares about terror at this point? We're really going to have to keep an eye on that. I mean, I've got enough to coast into the London port, but that's cutting it way too close. I'm not going to do that again. It's a good thing I was buying fuel all along the way, or we wouldn't have made it this far. An offer of assistance, desperate measures. Not this time, guys. And hopefully never again. I'd like to point out that we had plenty of supplies we could have burned as an emergency measure when we ran out of fuel. And there are other more drastic measures we could have taken. But we're not going to let that happen again. We can avoid that with a simple rule. Keep more fuel on hand at all times. Enough to get them to the next place that sells fuel. Having a submarine will open up a lot more places where we can buy fuel, which will help. To do that, we're going to go south next. An enforcer from a pirate or smuggling criminal organization is going to ask me if I want his help, and I'm going to say yes, because they pay well. As a scoundrel Z captain, I appreciate that, and I kind of like them. But if I do that, it means we need to do a certain amount of exploring before we can return to London again. We'll need to find at least one of Guider's Morn, Polythreme, or Khan's Heart, or things might get difficult. Which is fine. It just means we have to sail south to pick up our submarine conversion kit from a city that I don't know precisely where it is, and then explore a bunch of the map before we can come back to London. I'm also going to try to use the cannon as we go to top up on supplies from monsters and money and fuel from smaller boats. Since I know this will be an exploring mission, we're going to seriously stock up on fuel and supplies before we head out again. Also, I know we can see at least part of a story I've never seen before, and I'm genuinely a little excited about that. There might be more, possibly much more, for me. I never quite managed to explore the whole seafloor in a submarine in any previous playthrough, as the Zubmariner expansion is pretty new. I know there's some cities down there I've never seen, and I'm looking forward to finding them. Returning to London. The lights of London welcome you home. This storylet only appears when you've been at sea for a little while. Collect messages from the harbor master. All the clatter and song of the dockside. It soothes the soul. Are there messages for you? What's this? Something has changed in the neath. Someone wants to sign on. That's all for now. You now have one of this. Another day. A free evening. The Rose Market bustles on Roser's Wharf. Who will be there today? So there's all sorts of stuff to do, and the one I'm kind of looking forward to is this one. So let's just get it out of the way. Remember when I said I wasn't going to do voices with one exception? This guy is kind of the exception because I just sort of hear a certain character in my head, so I think I'll be able to do it consistently. A very fine evening to you, Captain. What you might call mentor is very fond of Adventure Z captains, and he would like to offer you what you might call a dispensation, on account of he is so fond of Z captains. Behind the blind bruiser on the dock stands a dray piled high with fuel and supplies. We only rolled up to London with no fuel whatsoever. Oh, what should I do? What should I do? Should I accept the dispensation? Should I inquire further, or should I refuse? I'm the kind of guy who would ask first. I don't have all this wisdom for nothing. Who is this patron? Is there a catch? An airy wave. He runs a very fine and very liberal establishment just across the river, which is much patronized by sailors and by men of wit and vinegar and public house, and there is no obligation to speak of. My patron would hope only that you might remember him kindly, and I suppose that if the opportunity should arise for you to return this kindness, then I do not imagine he would refuse your offer. I'm going to accept the dispensation. Do make sure you have 15 points of space in the hold or come back later. It would be embarrassing to have to leave it on the dock. A courteous nod. Well, my patron hopes that you find these little gifts to your liking, and he expects that perhaps someday you might choose to call on him at the Medusa's Head. Should that day come, we will make you very welcome and give you any safe conduct what you might require. Good evening to you. He salutes and is gone. You now have 10 fuel, you have gained 5 supplies, you accepted the proposal, and you now have 1 Minas' suspicion. I'm not completely sure what I should do next, but one of these things kind of jumps out at me. Part of the reason this Poet Z captain goes to see it all is because he wants to find his father's bones. Do you have what your contact wants? I don't know. Let's find out. No, I still don't. What do I need? I don't have a memory of distant shores. Okay. Perhaps not. The merchant venturer. An urchin tugs your sleeve. Speak to the merchant venturer. I have need of a reliable agent. Failing that, an inventive one. Here are my requirements. An opportunity for profit. He has very specific needs, but he'll pay much better than market rates, and he won't ask how you came by these things. An occurrence. Your objective, the venturer's venture quality is now 1, a dream and a scheme. The venturer has a request. Speak to him further, or check your journal. I will need your help. If he has made 2 requests, you can fulfill either one. Something intricate. Find them in buried treasure, broken museums, pirate cargoes, now and then the stomachs of monsters. Good luck. I need 7. Don't ask why. 1,500 echoes will answer all your questions. Yeah, that would answer a lot of questions. What is it? Outlandish artifacts? Ooh, not easy to get, but that's a lot of money. Or, other alternative, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, or subscribe. If you came here from Reddit, upvotes really help. It's a small thing that makes a big difference for my channel. If you enjoy this content and really want to help, tell a friend. Anyone who likes video games or audiobooks might like this. Thanks for watching.